Hello and welcome to the Racing Gambit for this weekend's look at the horse racing action taking place stateside. Obviously, I won't be doing it alone. I'm joined by a partner in crime, Ace. Ace, it's been a long time. How are you doing?
It's the Midsummer Derby. Who couldn't be excited about that? So many great ones. So many great ones. How are you doing?
Yeah, very, very good. Very, very excited for this weekend's action because there's just a lot going on. Too much to keep tabs on, really. But
hmm
we're going to try and find some winners, and we're going to start with the Travers Stakes, which is a Grade 1 over 1.25 miles. This is a pretty good field, isn't it, for this weekend? We've got the Derby winner in Rich Strike, we've got the Preakness winner in early voting, and we've got the runner-up from both. Epicenter, and Epicenter is very, very strong at the top of the market after the Jim Dandy last time out. And can you see him getting beaten this weekend?
So not only do we have all that, but we also have the Kentucky Derby trifecta. We've got Rich Strike, we've got Epicenter, we got Zandon. I can see. So first and foremost, every report is coming out and saying like Epicenter wasn't even like focused for the Jim Dandy. Like it wasn't even like 100%. If Epicenter wasn't 100% and beat, Zandon and Tawny Fort in early voting already, and not even 75%, what are we talking about here? Yeah, this race is going to be over from the jump. I do have a bit of a long shot that if we can get the right price on, I'll be floating up. But how did you see this race?
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think Epicenter is just far, far too good for anything else in this field. I don't want to say early voting's winning the Preakness was a bit of a fluke, but I don't know if he just caught Epicenter a bit on the hop where like he was just not fit enough after the Derby. But it's the form certainly playing like out like that was the case. I do I do like Cyberknife. Obviously, Brad Cox won this last year. He looked very good in the Haskell, although that was a race that kind of fell apart a little bit. But the Haskell like kind of curse in this race. Only two Haskell runners have competed in this. Two Haskell runners have won this race, so they didn't even win the Haskell. They just ran in the Haskell, and that is enough for me to be put off by Cyberknife this weekend.
Yeah, I really look at that Haskell and I say the race fell apart. Jack Christopher just could not get the distance, and it's no fault of his. Taiba, terrible ride by Mike Smith. He should have won the race. Cyberknife just kept coming along on the rail, right? I'm going to go and say Cyberknife is a complete wild card of the race. Who knows? I'm hearing reports that they might go to the lead. I'm hearing reports that they're going to close. Everything I hear is just hearsay. But I'm going to go back to your early voting. And I'm going to say if early voting gets a really easy lead like he did in the Preakness, everyone was saying he looked terrible on Jim Dandy Day. Didn't raise his head. Just seemed kind of out of it. And yeah, he finished fourth of four, but he was only 3 lengths back. And not only that, but like the speed figure came back and was still pretty good. He was pressured that whole race by Zandon, which was the weirdest thing. We never thought Zandon was going to be up there that close, and didn't really work out for Zandon, so they're probably not going to do that again. If early voting gets loose on the lead, I wouldn't be surprised if we have another Preakness where it's just all like, okay, Epicenter's got to really work, and here we go. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we got quite a short one in here. Artorias. So he was the winner over course and distance in the Curling Stakes,
hmm
scoring a speed figure 102. Is he just like a bit on the short side in this for you? Do you think?
Yeah, and that's this thing where it's like Irad Chad, right? You never discount them, but 9 to 2 odds is pretty rough when they want a restricted stakes in New York. You've got a ton of Grade One winners here, and then you got Epicenter who still hasn't won a Grade One, but is the best horse by far. If this horse was 10 to 1, you'd say, let's see what happens. But in all honesty, like 9 to 2, probably going to be around 5, 6 to 1. Way too short for just a complete unknown. Could they be on the up and up? Sure. But going from a restricted stakes to a Grade One against the best horses that we've seen at 3-year-old level, I'm just not seeing it. Just not seeing
No.
it.
And you've obviously got Rich Strike in here as well. So we've got the Derby winner. Like, any chance?
A zero chance with this horse. I love how much like all these insiders are like, look at the workouts. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm looking at the workouts. until he actually, puts it together on a race course again. Like, what are we talking about here? This horse just seems to like Churchill Downs. They broke their maiden at Churchill Downs in a claiming race, by the way, but won by 17 lengths. And then they won the Derby. They haven't had a win otherwise. 2 wins at Churchill. Until they're back at Churchill, I'm not going to pick this horse.
I mean, he might not win another race ever again, but I think Connection's going to be pretty happy.
Here's the thing: if they really just decide on what this horse is instead of entering him in the biggest races in the world, maybe he could win a Grade 3. But are they ever going to enter him in another Grade 3? We'll see.
So where are you landing on with the Travers then?
All right. Epicenter is the best horse. You're going to get 3 to 5, 4 to 5 on him. I might just take early voting on top, play him to win in place. I think that's what I'm going to do. The place money should get back my win money. That's how I'm going to play it.
Yeah, I'm still a bit conflicted because obviously we have Zandon in here, and Zandon always comes second or he comes third. He's always there. I think Zandon, he is going to finish top 3. So I think as a placement, that's the safest thing to kind of assume. But I think Epicenter probably wins. And I think Cyberknife is kind of the one that could surprise people. But like I said, that Haskell trend is just difficult to ignore. So I think Epicenter is going to win. I could take Epicenter Zandon 1-2 again. It happens more often than not, doesn't it?
That's true. It happens enough.
So next up, we've got the Sword Dancer Stakes, which is a Grade 1 over 1.5 miles on the turf. This is also a challenge race for the Breeders' Cup turf. And this is really, really interesting. I was just saying to you before we started that I had to write a preview about this earlier in the week. And I was writing it before the odds come out. And I really like Broome. And then I saw the odds and Broome's favourite. I'm like, I don't like him as much anymore. But I'm just really interested to see where you land on this, because I feel like the market is not the best kind of guideline.
This is an impossible race. I mean, honestly, it's just an impossible race. You have so many good horses coming in with so many Grade 1 winners. You got people shipping in all over the place, right? I'm looking at a horse, and listen, I get it. Broome's a very nice horse. Adamo, very nice horse. I'm looking at a horse who's raced here 9 times and won 6 times, who hasn't had the best recent form, and that's cross-border. And here's the thing, right? You're going to get a fair price, 15 to 1. I've been watching a lot of these turf routes. The favorites don't just romp. It's all over the place. So I'm going to look for someone with a price. They took 3rd in last year's Sword Dancer. They haven't really had a ton of success, but their speed figures are always right there. I think going 1.5 miles is interesting, and I'm going to take someone who likes Saratoga, and I'm looking for a price here. It's hard for me to take any of the favorites. Where are you thinking of landing?
Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult. I think Broome is probably the most kind of classy horse in this field. He's got a ton of experience over 1.5 miles. Obviously, his last one in the States, he finished second in the Breeders' Cup turf, and he could have been unfortunate not to win that. I'm happy to scratch off his win in the QE2 last time, because I can't remember who the 3-year-old was who come out the gate with him, but they were just racing in the first half mile like it was the last half mile. And I think Ryan Moore coming over is pretty important, because I feel like it shows that Aidan O'Brien's got a lot of kind of trust that he's going to get the job done this weekend. See, when I was doing the preview, I actually, because I thought Broome's fight was going to be not as good as it is, I tipped Broome up, but now I've kind of switched. And I think Adamo is probably the most likely winner, because I think all his form is quite good over this distance. Obviously, he won the United Nations last time out. The draw is a bit of a concern, but it's over 1.5 miles, so the draw is not going to be that much of an issue. I don't think they're not going to be able to blame the draw. The other one that I kind of liked a bit of a price was Channel Maker, purely by the price, because he's won his last 2 and he won this in 2020. And like you say, he's got that bit of Saratoga experience. It could go a long way. But it is, you could have any one of these.
So there's 10 horses in this race, and if I took 8 of them, I still wouldn't be confident that I'd be walking home a winner. I'm gonna throw another bomb out at you. Soldier Rising for Christophe Clement and Jose Ortiz. They're gonna be like 20 something to 1. They won their last race here at Saratoga, a mile and 3/16. The only other race they've taken second here at a mile and 3/16. Like both speed figures over 100 their last 2 races. I think something goofy is going to happen in this race, and I swear if they let Tribute Huddle with Manny Franco and Chad Brown walk on the front end, and this horse just like walks as everyone else is just like, oh, I'm a closer, I'm going to come from the back of the field, I'm going to die. But even then, Tribute Haven I think is going to be like 6-7 to 1, which if you like the price, go right ahead.
Yeah, I get the impression they're going to, because I feel like Broom's probably going to lead them out on this. So I don't think they're going to go with slow pace. So
Okay.
I think it's just really difficult. I mean, I've got about 7 horses written down in front of me, and I'm just kind of still undecided.
I feel like I'm going to play a 6-horse superfecta box in this race, and I'm still not going to feel good about it. I'm going to pick 6 of them, and I'm going to be like, nope, didn't have it.
So if I have to push you for one, though, who's the one?
Give me the good recent form. Give me Soldier Rising, Jose Ortiz, Christophe Clement. They're going to be big at odds, but I mean they finished second by a neck to Channel Maker, 2 out, and I just think this horse is in good form.
Yeah,
Simple
I think I might just stick with my gut and stick with Broom, but it could let me down.
Especially at those low of odds, right? Yeah, like it's like, oh, you take a favorite in a field like this, but hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you, sir.
So next up, we've got the H. Allen Jerkins Memorial over 7 furlongs, which is a grade 1, and I think we might not be disagreeing with this one. Jack Christopher's back over 7 furlongs. Is it just as simple as he wins this?
I think so. I do think Jack Christopher is the class of the field. I mean, he still put up a good number in the Haskell. He just finished third by 2 lengths, and he just couldn't get the distance, right? Going back to 7 furlongs is scary. It really is scary because this horse really seems to bring it. And I was a little worried, like, what are his workout times going to look like since going that 1.1 miles? They've been completely fine. Like this horse seems like they're good to go. The only horse that I can see, and they're on the come up, is Accretive. It's Chad Brown. It's Irad Ortiz. It's a horse that's going to stalk the early pace. They're going to be in 4th, 5th place. They broke their maiden pretty well at Belmont, and then Saratoga, they just took second by a neck to Gunite in a grade 2 for their second ever race. Pretty nice speed figure. So if there's an up-and-comer that can get them, I think there is a lot of speed in this race. I don't know if Jack Christopher wants to be pressured, but then again, I think Jack Christopher's a special horse. So I'm going to probably go Jack Christopher and Accretive, 6'9", exacto, straight for this race. Where did you land?
Yeah, I don't think Jack Christopher gets beaten this weekend. Back over 7. I'm expecting the kind of performance that we saw in the Woody Stevens. I'm expecting to be kind of blown away by him again, but we know he's not going to go back up in to the classic distance. He's going to stay for this kind of shorter distance in and out with the Dirt Mile probably in mind at the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, the Dirt Mile or the Sprint, right? Gotta be really something, right? Seeing this horse against like Jackie's Warrior, that'll be something. And hopefully my Forbidden Kingdom will come back and be a part of all of it. That'd be really fun.
I want to see him win at the Breeders' Cup, so I want to see him in the Dirt Mile because I think the Dirt Mile is a much more winnable race than probably the Sprint is.
Sprint, yeah.
But yeah, to your point, he is the best thing in this race. He's going to win this quite comfortably. The one that I would have him behind him would probably be Gunite,
Hmm.
just because of his winning the Amsterdam over at Saratoga last time out with the speed figure 108. He ain't going to win, but like I think he's going to probably take second.
Okay, yeah. It's interesting, and I think I'm following the line as well. Like Akrativ has better odds, but Gunite beat them last out. But I think everyone's pointing and saying Akrativ's on its way up. Maybe that's the peak for Gunite.
Hmm.
But we shall see. Um, Gunite's a grade 1 winner last year at Saratoga at 7 furlongs, and they've won 2 and only lost 1 here. So they seem to really like the track here. So yeah, I'm looking at the rest of the field though. Nothing speaks to me. I saw Actuator live win the Indiana Derby. It was okay. I didn't mark it down and be all like, "Ooh, this one's this one's going to be something someday."
But you got Conager as well. Conager's second favourite. He won a stakes race at Colonial Downs, didn't he, last time out?
Yeah,
The speed figures are there. Like he's done 108, 3 out of the 4 previous races, which is it puts him in the mix, surely.
Yeah, I just think, and listen, I love a horse like this. They go and they race and they win at Churchill, and then they go to Iowa and race in the Iowa Derby, and they took second. And then they say, you know what, let's go to Colonial in Virginia. And now they're coming to Saratoga. They had a race at Keeneland and Gulfstream too in their young career. I think this horse really can run. I just don't think they can run it at the grade 1 level. I think Jack Christopher is a totally different class of them. So for those reasons, yeah, they'll probably win a grade 2 in their life, but maybe a grade 3. But
never a grade 1.
No, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
So next up, I think this is probably the most entertaining race the Saturday. The Personal Ensign, the grade 1. We get to see the fillies and mares smash it up again over 1 1/8 miles. I mean, they're very difficult to separate this bunch, but obviously the betting house Claire Air is a 1-1 favourite. I do feel like that's very, very short. I know she's beat Malathat the last twice, especially over at Saratoga and the Chivalry last time. But it's still, I look at horses like Latruska in here, where there is value in this market, surely.
And that's exactly where I'm landing. I'm just going to toss Latruska's last race. She took 5th by 35 lengths. She was leading, and she just bottomed out at Belmont. Belmont could be my least favorite track ever. It looks like they're running in quicksand, and some horses just don't take to it. Every year in, is it the Wood Memorial? You get bombs. You get the weirdest things happening, for the Derby props, and you're like, is this horse good? No, it's because they're winning at Belmont. I mean, they won the Apple Blossom before that. They won the Royal Delta, the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Let's not even Marsh Lorraine. You remember Dunbar Road? Come on now, which is ridiculousness. Yeah, this horse is 6, but you just toss out that last race and you go 5-1. On the speed horse, yeah, I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Latruska all day long here. I'm happy to forget about the Ogden Phipps because I think it's worth forgetting about that when you look back at everything else she's done. So she's won 3 for 4 over this distance, including last year she won this and the Chivalry at Saratoga. She's just well worth the price, and the last 2 winners of this race have both come from Store 1. So surely you just take the chance on her.
Oh, that's a fact I did not know. Yeah. And to your point about Malatat, and I feel like this is very similar to what's going on with the 3-year-olds in the division now, right? So Malatat, she was the queen. She won the Oaks. She won some other really nice grade 1s last year. And then the longer they run, all of a sudden Claire Air, who was taking all those seconds and thirds to her, is like, no, I can run. I'm 4. Similar, Secret Oath was really good in the earlier this year. Nest is a superior horse now. I mean, that is not even a question, right? I just think Claire goes back to being put in her place by Latruska. Latruska last time out in the Apple Blossom beat her. and beat her by a length and a quarter. I just see Claire kind of putting up not the greatest race, especially after two really nice races. It's hard to continue to win at this level, but the only person that's shown us that they can has been Latruska. And they won the personal ensign last year. I don't see why they can't do it again.
No, I'm amazed by just how big she is in the betting, because she should not. I mean, she's effectively the second outsider here to win as the
Yeah,
defending champion, as a
yeah,
multiple Grade One winner.
yeah.
It makes no sense. I know we can obviously have this recency bias about the last couple of races where Claire and Malatat have met, but I'd even argue that Latruska should probably be shorter than Malatat off the back of them.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you 100%, right? Latruska's won 7 of her last 9 races, all of them graded stakes. I just, I do think the odds are going to reflect back in their favor, but if Latruska breaks and nobody goes with her, I think this race is over.
Yeah. So I think we're both in agreement on that one then. Latruska's winning.
9-2. Man, fixed odds, take it. Take it to the bank.
So the last race we're going to look at is the Farrago, which I don't actually have the odds for because I couldn't find them. But I think we've got the money line odds available. Again, this is a Grade 1 over 7 furlongs at Saratoga. And is this just going to be another straightforward race for Jackie's Warrior to just kind of blitz home?
Yeah, this is really unfair to everyone else that Jackie's Warrior is still this good. And he's one of my favorite horses of all time. I just, how do you bet against a horse that just absolutely trounces everyone? And they even sat off the pace last time. They even didn't get the lead and they still got it done. This horse won the Allen Jerkins last year, beating Life is Good, which is one of the best 5 horses we've seen in years. No one can run with this horse. And this field, Baby Yoda jumping up and winning that optional claiming last out to get in this race is so funny to me. That was the biggest tease of all time. Oh, finally you put it together. But yeah, and a lot of these horses, they haven't raced against anyone of this caliber. I think Jackie's Warrior absolutely walks. I can't even find a price that I like underneath, in all honesty. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
No, I'm with you. Jackie's Warrior is winning this. Asmussen's got a good record in this race as well. He's won 2 of the last 3. Jackie's Warrior just wins. So why look elsewhere and try and make it harder than it should be sometimes? Because you know who's going to win the race.
Yeah, and you have all these horses coming from optional claimers all the way up to a horse like this. And I know there was some buzz around Drafted back in the day, multiple Grade 3 winner. Jackie crushes them, just absolutely crushes them. I think this is going to be a joke of a race. If I'm going to take somebody underneath, it's probably going to be 3-2 zone with Dylan Davis. They're 1-for-1 here at Saratoga with a good number last out. It wasn't against very much, but maybe they can take second.
No, I mean it's hard to find anyone that's second. Kurdish Wish looks to be one of the ones that is improving. Won the Hashkin at Churchill Downs last time out. But to your point, Baby Yoda won at Saratoga, which you could take that better course experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, either of them two, but you know who's winning the race, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm glad that they separated this race out because it's much earlier in the program. It's race 5. Because in all the multi-race wagerings, the pick 6 would be the easiest single of all time. Everything. So I'm glad that they put this a lot earlier. Oh my gosh! Of course, I just noticed that Baby Yoda is 3-for-3 at Saratoga. 3-for-3 at Saratoga.
I mean, they do call it the graveyard of champions, don't they?
They do call it the graveyard of champions.
So we go. Baby Yoda's winning it then.
Baby Yoda is one of the most frustrating horses. It's such high hopes. It's such high hopes. Like, because yeah, he started his career, and oh no, I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just Jackie's Warrior moving on.
Yeah, so that's all the race we're going to look at then. So what's the best bet for the weekend? I think I know mine.
I think it's Latruska if we get 4-1. I think that's the best bet. I'm gonna take a flyer on early voting win place. I think he's better than that last race in the Jim Dandy.
Yeah, I think Latruska is the value all day long in the personal scene. If you can get 4-1, if you get bigger than 4-1, then it's worth getting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So that just about rounds off the Racing Gambit for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, have a good weekend. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.